For billions of years, life on Earth has been governed by the slow, grinding gears of Darwinian evolution. Through a process of random mutation and natural selection, single-celled organisms transformed into the vast complexity of the biosphere we see today. It took eons for fish to walk on land, for primates to develop speech, and for humans to build civilizations. But that era, the era of biological chance, is coming to an end. We are standing at the threshold of a new epoch, one where we no longer wait for nature to change us. Instead, we are taking the tools of creation into our own hands. From genetic engineering and bionic enhancements to the merging of our minds with artificial intelligence, we are about to rewrite the definition of what it means to be human. Today, we look forward into the deep future to ask, what will Life 2.0 look like? What will future humans become? To understand where we are going, we first have to look at the limitations of our current hardware. Our bodies are magnificent, but they are relics of the Stone Age. We are built for a world of physical labor, short lifespans, and immediate survival on the African savanna. We are prone to disease, our organs fail, and our brains, while incredible, are limited by biological processing speeds and memory capacity. But for the first time in history, we have moved from natural selection to intelligent design, and we are the designers. The first phase of our transformation is already underway, the genetic revolution. With technologies like CRISPR-Cas9, we have gained the ability to edit the very code of life with the precision of a word processor. In the near future, Life 2.0 will begin with the elimination of genetic diseases. We will delete the sequences for cystic fibrosis, Huntington's disease, and hereditary cancers, but it won't stop at healing. We will move toward enhancement. Future humans may be engineered for increased bone density, better oxygen efficiency, or even the ability to see in the ultraviolet spectrum. We might engineer our bodies to require less sleep or to resist the effects of radiation, a necessity if we ever hope to colonize the harsh environments of Mars or the moons of Jupiter. But genetic editing is just the software update. The hardware update comes from cybernetics. We are already becoming cyborgs in a primitive sense. We carry external brains in our pockets, smartphones, and use technology to replace lost limbs or failing hearts. In the future, the line between biology and machinery will blur until it disappears. Imagine prosthetic limbs that aren't just replacements, but upgrades, arms that can lift tons, or legs that can outrun any animal. We will see the rise of neural interfaces, chips implanted directly into the brain that allow us to communicate with machines and each other at the speed of thought. This synthetic telepathy could create a global hive mind, a collective human intelligence where knowledge is shared instantly and language barriers become a thing of the past. As we integrate more deeply with technology, our physical appearance will likely undergo a radical shift. If we move into space, our bodies will adapt either through engineering or through the environment itself. On low-gravity worlds, future humans might grow taller and more slender, with elongated limbs. In the darkness of the outer solar system, we might engineer larger eyes to capture every stray photon of light. Some theorists suggest that we might eventually abandon the humanoid shape altogether. Why have 2 arms and 2 legs if you are living in zero gravity? Future humans could be multi-limbed or even modular, changing their physical forms to suit the task at hand. But the most profound change won't be in our bodies. It will be in our lifespans. Aging is increasingly being viewed by scientists not as an inevitability, but as a biological disease that can be treated. By clearing out senescent cells, zombie cells that stop dividing but refuse to die, and by repairing our telomeres, we could potentially stop or even reverse the aging process. If we can extend the human lifespan to 200, 500, or even 1,000 years, it will fundamentally change the structure of society. Education, careers, and relationships would be viewed on a completely different timescale. We would become a species of chronos, beings for whom time is no longer a scarce resource but a vast open ocean. However, even a biological body that lives for 1,000 years is still fragile. It can be crushed, burned, or starved. This leads us to the most extreme possibility for Life 2.0, mind uploading. Also known as whole brain emulation. This is the idea that we could map the trillions of neural connections in a human brain, connect them and translate them into a digital format. If you are the sum of your memories, personality, and consciousness, then you could theoretically exist inside a computer. A digital human would be effectively immortal. You could back yourself up to the cloud. You could live in hyper-realistic virtual realities where the laws of physics are whatever you want them to be. You could travel to distant stars by beaming your data as a laser signal, re-downloading yourself into a robotic body on the other side of the galaxy. In this scenario, humanity transitions from a biological species to a substrate-independent one. We would become post-humans, beings of pure information, living at the speed of light. This transition raises deep philosophical and ethical questions. If we can edit our genes, will we create a genetic underclass of people who cannot afford upgrades? If we merge with AI, where does the machine end and the human begin? If you upload your mind into a computer, is that actually you, or is it just a perfect digital copy while the original you died on the operating table? We are moving toward a singularity, a point in time where technological growth becomes so rapid and profound that it becomes impossible to predict what life will be like on the other side. The evolution of Life 2.0 will also be driven by our need to survive the great filters of the universe. To survive a world of climate change, or to survive the radiation of deep space, we must change. Nature's pace is too slow to keep up with the problems we have created and the ambitions we have fostered. We are becoming the architects of our own evolution because we have no other choice if we want to remain relevant in a universe that is increasingly dominated by artificial intelligence. Some imagine a future where humanity splits into different species. There may be the high humans who live in digital paradises, the Mars humans engineered for low gravity and radiation, and the traditional humans who choose to remain purely biological on Earth. The human family could become a human forest of wildly different branches, all tracing their roots back to the same African ancestors, but looking and thinking in ways we can't currently comprehend. But even as our forms change, will our humanity remain? What makes us human isn't just our DNA or our bipedal stance. It's our capacity for empathy, our drive to explore, and our search for meaning. As we move toward Life 2.0, our greatest challenge won't be the technology itself, but the wisdom to use it. Can we become gods without losing our souls? Can we achieve immortality without losing the preciousness of life that comes from its finitude? The future of the human form is not written in the stars. It is being written right now in our laboratories, our code, and our imaginations. We are the last generation of Human 1.0. We are the bridge between the biological past and the technological future. It is a terrifying responsibility, but also an incredible privilege. We are the only species on Earth that has ever had the chance to decide what it will become. As you look in the mirror today, realize that you are looking at a masterpiece of biological engineering that is 4 billion years in the making. But also realize that you are a rough draft. Your descendants may look back at you with the same curiosity and pity that we feel for the Neanderthals, seeing you as a brave, limited, and fleeting ancestor who paved the way for the gods they have become. Life 2.0 is not a destination. It is a continuation of the journey that started with the first spark of life in a primordial sea. We are still that spark, but now we are choosing where to fly. The universe is vast, cold, and ancient, and Life 1.0 was never meant to survive it for long. But Life 2.0? Life 2.0 might just have what it takes to inherit the stars. Thank you for joining us for this milestone exploration of our own future. The story of humanity is far from over. In fact, the most interesting chapters are just beginning. If you've enjoyed this vision of what we might become, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We will continue to explore the cutting edge of science and the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. Until next time, stay curious, cherish your biological heritage, and keep an eye on the horizon. The future's coming faster than you think. Safe travels into the unknown future humans.